I think we already see the impact of the WNBA and then the impact that women's sports is having around the world, and why I believe we were able to get to the
in your closets, because you'll soon get a chance to buy Caitlin Clark shoes. According to the Wall Street Journal, the former Iowa Hawkeye is signing an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike. It's the biggest known deal for a women's basketball player.
Caitlin Clark has made history by signing a groundbreaking 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal with Nike, the largest of its kind in women's basketball. She's now the first athlete since Michael Jordan to secure such a monumental agreement. While many fans are celebrating this milestone, not everyone is applauding. AJA Wilson has voiced her frustrations, and it's shedding light on deeper issues surrounding Clark's meteoric rise. The WNBA's newest sensation stormed into the league with unprecedented momentum, but the story unfolding now may prove even more impactful and significantly more controversial.
Well, Caitlin Clark could be breaking another record, this time with an endorsement deal. The Associated Press says Clark will soon be signing an 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike. The Indiana Fever guard would also get to create her own signature shoe with the deal. Clark's previous deal with Nike ended after she finished her season with the Iowa Hawkeyes early.
The blockbuster deal stands as the most lucrative in women's basketball history, locking the WNBA superstar into a long-term partnership with the iconic sportswear giant.
where we got to is, if you go back to the structure that I talked about earlier, and let's take basketball in this specific case, where we start with sport, the game of basketball, and then we go gender next. When we were running just basketball, we never got to the women's opportunity, but by having this small team that's focused on women's basketball, it unlocked, we believe, opportunities for the game of basketball. We already saw it making movements because of the great performances these athletes were having. They were inspiring people to watch the women's game.
The agreement features the launch of 3 exclusive basketball designs, along with a range of additional products and initiatives. It mirrors the iconic partnership Michael Jordan forged with Nike shortly after entering the NBA in 1984.
Indiana Fever have become the franchise of all women's sports. We have never seen anything like this. And something that I actually saw, a graphic that I saw on Twitter today, was so interesting. It said the Jordan effect versus the Caitlin Clark effect through the first 33 games. So when Jordan entered the league, the average attendance per year prior to him was 8,021 people. And then during his rookie year, that went up 60.3%, with the average being 12,855. And now if you look at Clark effect and what she has done for the WNBA and for the Indiana Fever, before Caitlin Clark went to the WNBA, the average attendance was 6,109. And then during her rookie year, the average attendance was 15,746, which is a 157.7% increase. We have talked about the Caitlin Clark effect many times on this channel, but I thought that this graphic alone, when you talk about the impact that she has had on the league and specifically the Indiana Fever, like she says, this is the destination.
Michael Jordan was famously fond of a wager on the golf course, and three-point legend Steph Curry has proven equally skilled on the greens, even sinking a hole-in-one. Jordan, of course, went on to become a 6-time NBA champion, a perennial finals MVP, and a standout on the legendary 1992 US Olympic Dream Team, the only version of which ever lost a single game, and that was in a scrimmage against a group of college players. Fast forward to today, Caitlin Clark's name is echoing in historic company. Her modest rookie salary sparked widespread discussion when she was selected as the #1 overall pick in the April WNBA draft. But that narrative quickly shifted, as Clark secured a string of high-profile endorsement deals with brands like State Farm and Gatorade, pushing her off-court earnings to an estimated $3 million now, with her record-breaking Nike deal, including the release of signature basketballs and products. Clark is following in the footsteps of Jordan himself. The Air Jordan brand transformed MJ into a global icon throughout the 80s and 90s, and there's hope that Clark's partnership with Nike will chart a similar course for the face of a new generation. Since joining the WNBA, Clark has made an immediate impact, both in terms of media attention and on-court performance. She's faced fierce, Jordan Rules-style physicality from seasoned veterans, a sign of both respect and rivalry. But as she navigates the early stages of her career, the buzz surrounding her $28 million Nike deal has drawn both praise and skepticism. The question now is whether Caitlin Clark can rise to meet the towering expectations and truly live up to the hype.
Do you think Caitlin Clark is the most exciting athlete of this century?
Currently, I would say she is. I mean, she's brought in a lot of people who never would watch college women's basketball, or even now the WNBA. Just the overall play and excitement for the game. It's her, and now the anticipating of her playing. I think so.
I'll tell you, Patrick Mahomes is really exciting. There's a lot of exciting football play.
Jordan faced his share of rough treatment in the early years of his career, particularly at the hands of the infamous bad boy Detroit Pistons, who built their reputation on physical, punishing defense. But he eventually rose above it, conquering his toughest opponents on the way to greatness. Similarly, Caitlin Clark has already shown she can thrive under pressure in the WNBA, delivering a stellar Rookie of the Year campaign despite being the target of intense, physical play. Her rapid rise, however, has sparked debate, with critics questioning why established stars like AJA Wilson continue to be overlooked, even with their sustained excellence and championship success.
Clark is the face of basketball. At least she's getting a signature basketball deal with Wilson, the first player since Michael Jordan to do so. I have described Clark as the Michael Jordan of her generation, considering impact, and I do believe she could be the biggest star in the...
Us as black women, Age reminds me a lot of dudes. Like, it's not really about me. And she knows that her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball. But, like, she understands her privilege and like, pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you.
This isn't surprising, since she already said Caitlin Clark was only popular because she's white. First of all, why are you immediately looking at someone based on their race?
Nike has now signed AJA Wilson following backlash over its high-profile deal with Caitlin Clark, a $28 million contract featuring a signature shoe, awarded before Clark had even played a single professional game.
Wilson brought up race a couple of weeks ago when discussing Caitlin Clark's newfound fame, suggesting that because she was white, she was getting more attention than a black female player would. I think it's the quote. I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people may say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is. It really is, because you can be top notch at what you are as a black woman, but yet maybe there's something that people don't want to see. They don't see it as marketable. So it doesn't matter how hard.
The uproar surrounding Nike's earlier decision may now quiet down, as AJA Wilson has officially signed her own deal with the brand. Wilson, who had been collaborating with Nike for over a year, chose to announce the partnership during the Las Vegas Aces visit to her hometown of Columbia, South Carolina, a moment that added personal significance to the news. Continuing to build her legacy both on and off the court, Wilson revealed that Nike will be releasing a shoe inspired by her. The sportswear giant expressed pride in welcoming the Aces superstar to their elite roster, calling her a true force in the game.
Wilson is finally getting her signature shoe. She'll become the 13th WNBA player with a signature shoe after working with Nike for over a year to develop her collection. She said she's honored to take the next step in becoming a Nike signature athlete. From the logo to the look of the shoe to the pieces throughout the collection, they've worked hard to make sure that every detail is perfectly tuned to her game and style. She's already dropped a few hints as to what she wanted her future sneaker to look like, saying that she loves playing in a low top shoe, so I think we can expect that when it drops in 20.
Wilson marked the announcement with a radiant smile, posing in a black sweatshirt that boldly read, "Of course I have a shoe. Come." It was a fitting celebration for a player who continues to elevate her already remarkable basketball career. Nike stated that the upcoming shoe draws inspiration from Wilson's unmistakable style, elite performance, and unapologetic authenticity, qualities that have made her one of the most iconic players of her generation. Simply put, of course she got a shoe.
The A'ja Wilson A1s right? Now, after backlash, we're announcing a signature sneaker deal with Caitlin Clark before a proven WNBA champ and all-star. Nike might have redeemed themselves just in time for Black History Month. I guess there is a market for A'ja after all. But enough of all that. I'm Bima, and you're in the Collab Lab. Today, let's decode what makes A'ja Wilson's Nike A1s all sauce. Now, A'ja's been balling in LeBron's, and that inspiration has fueled the design of her A1s. King James, my boy, you gotta lace up a pair there and show some love. And her kicks tell her story. The pink aura honors her aka sorority, Celtic symbols representing her mom and her dad, and her grandmother's message, rest on the outsole. And I love that Asia's making her kicks accessible. 110 for adults and 90 for the youngins. Smart move. Now collab cousins, which are you feeling more? The A1s or the Sabrina?
AJA Wilson, still firmly established as one of the WNBA's elite players, responded to the announcement with gratitude, saying, "It's been incredible working with Nike toward a dream of having my own collection." Although her deal didn't materialize last year, the moment has clearly arrived on her terms. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, who signed her historic Nike contract before playing a single WNBA game, has faced a rocky start to her pro career. She set an unfortunate record with her rookie deal and, as of now, her Indiana Fever team remains winless through their first 5 games.